now. And just to confirm, can you see my screen?
Yep. Well, I see new meeting organizer. There we go.
You're seeing it now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So we're going to get some stuff done today. So when you log into the site, you're always going to be brought immediately to this area. This is going to be the home page of your site, and it's comprised of a lot of different dashboards. Now, these dashboards are just glimpses of what the system is holding, what kind of information the system has. So you can dive into more detail on any of this information. This is just a glimpse, just a snapshot. So the first item that we have is your current membership rosters. This is going to list all of the different member types and then what status they're in. Now, right now, all of your members are active, but as we automate membership, these numbers may begin to move to the grace period and then eventually to the lapse status. So that lapse status means that they are on the other side of the grace period. They still haven't paid their dues. To you, nothing's changed. They're just located in this column. But to them at that time, they can no longer log in.
The only ones that would pay dues would be under the active, not the active contact, but the active and then the associate. So those
Wonderful.
are our, and nobody else pays dues.
Remind me how much your active members pay in dues?
The actives, well, there's two actives. There's merchant and primary buyer members, and they pay $200 annually. And the associate, pardon me, yeah, and then the associate member pays $300 annually. And
so
those statements don't go out until August, so that's something that we still can, work on and then set it up for recurring or whatever.
Oh, do you accept reoccurring payments?
Yes.
Do you have that set up with Authorize.net?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to end up doing.
I don't know if Moolah can do that.
Yeah, Moolah can do auto renew, but we're going to have to collect everybody's information this first time, and then moving forward, it'll be able to auto renew them.
Good. Okay.
Awesome. So when the conversation with dues renewals, so since these aren't going out until August,
then we have bail fees that just go to the active, the 25 active up here. They go out quarterly. And I also want, eventually reminders if we have not received them, reminders sent, reoccurring every quarter, a billing that would recur every quarter for the quarter's bail fees. They pay a per bail fee based on what they've handled and what they ship.
That's right.
And that will go out March the 31st, but if we can't make that happen, we may just have to do the paper form until I get through with this convention, okay? And then we can set it up later.
Yep, that's going to be the best. That's going to be the best plan. So I
didn't mean to interrupt.
For these renewals that we're going to be sending out, we're not going to hang out until August. What we'll do is get everything set up in the system and then turn everything on so that it's automated. And so all of these automations will go out on their own.
Great. I just want to make sure they're going to the right people at the right firm. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly who those 25 are and who those 57 are. What email? Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So you'll be able to go in here, and what I would ask that you do is when you get into the system, you can click on this number 25.
Okay.
And this is going to bring you to a profile list of all, well, what in the world? It's going to bring you to a profile list of all 25 people.
Okay.
And you can confirm their email addresses. We're going to talk more about, so here are the firms, here are the emails.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about how you can edit profiles in just a little bit. We're gonna circle back to this, but you'll be able to edit all of this information in the system.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go back to the home page by using our home icon. So the next item that we have are your new members in the last 90 days. This is just pulling out new members that have joined in the last 90 days so you can email them frequently and quickly after they become a member, reiterating the membership benefits they're gaining by being a part of your association. So this is just a great place to keep track of who those new guys are.
Okay, I don't know how to add them.
How to add new members?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll be talking about that today as well.
Okay.
Then we have our event dashboard. This is going to be pulling up to 3 past events.
Okay.
So this is pulling from your event registration forms.
Mm-hmm.
And then upcoming expected events are events that are upcoming. So once again, also pulling from event registration forms.
Okay.
The last item that we have in here is your financial dashboards. Now your financial dashboards are going to show you how many aged receivables you have. That's going to be how many outstanding invoices you have by how many days.
Mm-hmm.
And then sales over time is actually going to allow you to separate or sort your revenue accounts to determine how much money's come in per revenue account.
Okay. So back up to the event name. When you source that form, what exactly do you get? Just the 15 that have registered?
Say that again. When I do what to the form?
When you click on that, where your mouse is right now, what does
I don't know
it do?
why we keep getting that page. I haven't seen that before. Let's see. This page isn't working. It's currently moving his request. Reload. It's going to take you to a list of those 15 people. I think we're having a little bit of server problems.
Okay, so it will give me a list.
Yes, of the 15 people.
Yeah, I normally, like I told you, create an Excel spreadsheet, and the Excel spreadsheet is so wide, I don't have a 75 or 90-inch screen here to see all of the, but I like to keep it all on one form, and I don't know if I have to export each time to update that, so I need help with that too pretty immediately. But go ahead, I'm sorry, I'm wasting time.
No, you're fine. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that as well. Awesome. So then the last two, these are just sales over time. So that's everything on the home page. We'll keep rocking forward. I'm going to go ahead and hover over our settings tab and go to the account settings tab for just a moment. This has a couple of important, well, you know what? Somebody else just mentioned that they were having this issue as well. Let's see here.
I did last night. I kept trying to get in and I couldn't get in, and I thought,
Really?
well, an admin, and then when I typed in admin, it worked.
Something.
Yeah,
Something must be funky. Hold on one second. Let me see if it's a me or other people. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, we had an awful lot to get through, and this is not allowing us to get through it. Let's see if I can. Website looks good. Let me see if there's anything else. Well, while we're waiting, maybe we can give it a minute or two. Any questions on any of these items on this home page, other than getting to the list of registrants, which we're going to look at in just a moment, and I'll show you how you can pull that out. Any other questions on that home page?
No, I don't think so. I think pretty much immediately and right in front of my face is how I can build this spreadsheet automatically without having to, hire somebody to come in and do it for me, because at this point, that's what's happening. I'm going to have help around here. In other words, that little spreadsheet that I sent you where I created it about 20 years ago because I could see I got to keep up with who's coming to what event. Yaha. And so, and also at the same time, I want to be able to, from that spreadsheet, filter it to see, you know, who are my golfers, who are my skeeters, who are my tour people, you know, who's coming to the general session, who's coming, you know, so you could filter it all. And when I merged, or when we exported before, it was, you know, those big long sentences in the cell headings, which caused the Excel export to go way out.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're back up. So we should be good. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do that kind of next.
Okay.
So I just went to forms and form list, and that's bringing me to all of our forms that we have here. Now, I'm going to eventually teach you how to create your own forms. We're going to do that on our next training. But right now, I just want to review with you kind of how you can access these people that have registered. So you have a submissions column and a registrants column. The difference between the two is if I register for an event and I also register my spouse as a guest, it's going to show up as one singular submission. However, we would show up as two registrants because we're two people that are coming. So you'll always want to be looking at this registrants list.
Exactly.
Because those are each individual people. So I'm going to click on that number 15. Okay. The next item that we can do from here is if you're wanting to export these members, you can tag all users on all pages.
Tag all users. Tag all users. Okay.
Then we can use our actions button. You're going to see this actions button throughout the site, and this is kind of just showing you what you can do, what can you do to what you just tagged. So here's our export tagged registrants. You could also contact them, which would pull them into the contact center. But right now, based on your question, we just want to export these tagged registrants. So I can click on that. We're going to name our export name, so we could say Annual Convention 2018, and then I'll put today's date.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Now, from here, you need to determine what you want to export. If you want to export everything, then you can just toggle all fields. If you only want to export the fields that you need, then you can, maybe you don't need days registered, maybe you don't need submission ID, maybe you don't need their member type or discount code. Whatever you want, you're going to tag.
Okay, okay.
Once you have the fields tagged that you want, you're going to click Export 15 Registrants.
Okay.
Now, it's not just going to automatically download to your computer. At this time, you'll need to go to your Reporting tab at the top and click on Exports. This is going to hold all of your exports.
Then go to Reporting tab.
And then Exports.
And then Exports, okay.
And so it may be downloading, depending on the file size. It may take a little bit longer. Here's our annual convention. This is what we named it. It's registrants. The status is complete. If you don't see a green link over here, the status will say building or processing because it's still building the report. And then once you see the green link, you can click on your green link. It's going to download it to your computer. And here it is. So from here, now this is only going to have the columns that you chose to export. I chose all of them, but if you don't need certain columns, then you just won't choose them. And then this will be all the information that you can gather from that area.
Okay, great.
So that builds the Excel spreadsheet for you.
Okay. Instead of yes and no, though, I need 1 and 2, so it adds at the bottom. But and so you see what I'm saying?
I did it before with one group, and they used
to. And instead of getting hyphen, I need 295 so I can see how much. And instead of 5 tickets at, $25, I don't need the language and the finance field together, or whatever you call the accounting field together.
We're not going to be able to tell our system to not include this, but you can manipulate it in your Excel spreadsheet for the specific information that you're looking for. That would be my only advice.
Yeah, but every time I export, then I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do it every time I export.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pieces of the product that is shared code. So it's shared code throughout all of our products to bring in not just the fee, but the description with the fee. And that's not something that we could get rid of, because a lot of associations want both. They do want both.
Yeah, but do they not keep track of their revenue? I mean, I need it on the spreadsheet that tracks the revenue. So I'm going to have to go in. Maybe I could add another cell and just retype it all in. That's probably what I'm going to have to do.
Well, there's a lot of tricks. Like, I think we could do data, text to columns, delimitate, and then I could say other. There we go. Almost. We don't quite want that. I could do $sign. There we go.
Yeah. Perfect.
Finish. So you can just eliminate this.
Oh, okay.
And it'll take care of it. There's lots of tricks in here that you could probably pick up.
Okay. I need to know how to do that on each field. So if it's like that, I need to know how to separate it out so I can, when I export it in, that will be awesome. If we can do that, that would be awesome. So you highlight the cell.
Highlight the cell, and then you're going to go to your data tab at the top in the Excel spreadsheet.
Go to data tab. Okay.
Then you can select text to columns.
Text to columns. Okay.
And then we're going to delimitate. And then we're basically just telling the spreadsheet, okay, once you see this symbol or this letter, that's the separation point. So I use the $sign for this, because the $sign, so I'm not tabbing, I chose this other. I'm not space, because you'll see if I chose space instead of other, actually that would work, but it would end up, actually I don't think it would work. Comma wouldn't work. It kind of shows you what you're doing. Semicolon, there is no semicolon. So the best, I think, is just other.
And then did you put that $sign in the other block right there?
I did.
Other and place $sign. Okay. All right.
And then we're going to click next.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to say finish.
Next. Finish. Okay.
And that's all we need to do. So then same thing, or something maybe similar with these Thursdays through Friday.
No's,
Instead of having yes and no, I don't know where your replace option is. Mine is just up here next to my search box.
Okay, so.
But you could just do a find and replace. So you could say yes equals 1, replace all, and then I could say no equals 0, and then replace all, and then that took care of it for us.
Oh gosh. Okay, find and replace. Yes, 1, no, 0. Perfect. Oh gosh, yes. Oh, you have saved me. You have no earthly idea how much time you saved me.
Well, anytime there's something that, and you know what, I've just learned this stuff because I'm like, dang, this would make my life a whole lot easier if I could blah, 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 whatever it is. And I'll just usually Google it, and you can find some really good Google instructions on how to use Excel, just some tips and tricks.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Okay, so that is how you can pull the reports from your convention. Any questions on that piece?
I think I'm fine. If I have something, I can always email you. But I think that's going to work wonderful if I can just read my notes.
Awesome, perfect. And then you're going to have the recording, so you'll have that too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, the next thing that I want to talk to you a little bit about is let's talk about financials for a second. There are a couple of homework items that you're going to need to come in the system and complete after our training today, and they are all going to be pretty much revolving around financials. So I'm going to go to financial and invoices.
Okay.
So this is going to bring us into our invoice list. So these invoices, any invoices that are in your system are going to be located in this area, and this is for all of time. So over time, you're going to have a ton of invoices in here. Because of that, it's important for you to be able to search for the invoices you're looking for specifically. So we've built in a couple of ways that you can search what's in this invoice list. The first is using the search bar up here in the top right-hand corner. You can search your invoices by first name, last name, company name, and invoice number. So if I was looking for Parker, I've got one invoice where the name Parker applies to. So now I've found Janie Parker. So this is useful because somebody may call you and say, oh, I need my invoice. Can you search it? You could just get their first name, last name, or of course the invoice number.
It's not really an invoice, it's a receipt. These are receipts, not invoices.
They actually are invoices. They're just paid invoices and act as receipts. So they actually are invoices, and I'll show you that in just a moment.
Okay.
We can also filter our invoices by different types. Forms means that somebody took a form, and that's how the invoice was created. So your members took registration forms for this event, so all of them would be considered type forms, and you can see that listed in this column here.
Right.
Okay. You can also sort by status of the invoice, whether it's open, paid, partially paid, voided, or pending. So if I wanted to see if you had any open invoices, I can click my open status and you don't have any. They're all paid at this time.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at one of these invoices. To do that, I'm going to click on the invoice number.
Okay.
And this is what our invoices look like right now. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to make these a little bit prettier, and it's going to be one of the pieces of homework. We want you to have an invoice up here. A logo up here in the top right-hand corner.
Right.
And then we want your association information to show up here in the top left-hand corner. So I'm about to show you in just a moment where you can add that in at. Now the last thing that you can specify about these invoices is you can add notes to the invoice. So I'm going to show you where you can do that at as well. These are considered external notes, meaning the members can actually view these notes. Down here at the bottom, you can enter invoice comments. These are actually internal notes. So nobody would see these except for you or if you had any other admin. It's also going to show you when you added the comment, so what date. Okay. So I'm going to show you where you can add the external notes at in just a second. So for right now, let's go ahead and go back to our invoice list. I think that's all I wanted to show you here. Just a couple other things that you might want to know. Let's say that Linda Davis calls you and says, can you resend me my receipt? Because she's probably going to call it that. Or can you resend me my invoice? If you tag Linda Davis, you can use your actions drop-down button and email this tagged invoice. This is going to re-email this to her.
Wonderful. Okay.
You can also void, and then last, you can export this invoice. So if you wanted to just export all these invoices, you could tag them all, use your actions tab, click export. That's actually going to export them in like PDF, so that'll give you the ability to print them off.
Why would I want to export them?
So sometimes if you may have a client that says, can you can you snail mail me my receipt?
Okay.
Or can you send me my receipt through, or my invoice through the mail? And I'll send you back a check. I mean, that's rare in this day and age, but there are still some people who might not be as tech savvy and would prefer to just deal with their invoices through the mail than online.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So this is your invoice list. This is where all the invoices live, and you'll find all your invoices in this area. The next thing that I want to talk about is this next icon, invoice templates. Invoice templates are really important, and this is the first thing that I want you to set up in the system today. Okay.
All
The
right.
reason invoice templates are important is because when somebody pays an invoice or when somebody has an invoice created for them, you want some type of notification to be triggered by the system that says, hey, thanks for your payment. We look forward to seeing you at our annual convention. Or, hey, thanks for registering for our annual convention. Make sure you pay your open invoice. These notifications coming out from the system come from invoice templates. So invoice templates are not what invoices look like. They are the notifications that go out in regards to your invoices to let your members know, thanks for paying, or thanks for registering, you need to pay. Make sense so far?
Well, is that not on forms already when they get a receipt? It says, thank you for registering. It's been submitted and received.
So that comes from a confirmation email from a form, yes. But these invoice templates will actually include a copy of the invoice. Even if it's paid, it'll include a copy of the paid invoice. So they can actually see it on themselves that it's been paid, whereas the confirmation email that comes from the form is just verbiage, no invoice attached.
I see. Oh. So they don't get I spent $295?
They'll get that, but they're not going to actually see the invoice because it won't be attached.
Okay, so that's why I'm having a hard time also knowing what people are signing up for. Because I used to get a copy of the invoice that stores online. Whatever they did, it was, and then we would take that little piece and put it physically, put it into an Excel spreadsheet, okay?
You are wanting a transaction report, I think.
Yeah.
And that's different.
Okay.
So this is something that you're going to have to come in here and set up before our next phone call. And so what you'll do, I want you to start off by writing down a list of all the different types of invoices MemberClicks is going to create for you. Events.
I don't know. I hardly ever invoice anybody.
Events. That's a type of invoice that would be created, right?
Okay, yes.
How about new members, if a new member signs up?
Okay, all right.
Do you take any donations?
Sponsors, yes.
Sponsorships, if you have partnerships, if you have donations. These are all different types of invoices that you want different notifications set up for.
Okay.
So then you're going to select create an invoice template, our big green bar up here.
Right.
You'll name your invoice template, so this may be events. Set up a due date. So when the invoice is created, you're going to want some type of due date listed on the invoice.
Okay.
30 days is most typical. I mentioned a minute ago that there's a notes section on the invoice. The footer information is where you'll put the notes section in. That's going to pull in the notes onto the invoice. Whatever you put in this area. I see oftentimes either remit payment to information or thanks for your continued support, or we look forward to seeing you at our next event. Just a little blurb in there, but you can leave it blank if you want to.
Okay.
Then you're going to turn on the notifications that you want to use for your invoice that went out. So if they're able to register and they don't have to pay at the same time that they register, you definitely 100% want to use this new invoice email. If you don't, they'll never get a notification letting them know that they owe you money.
They can't check out without paying me. So I don't see a need for the event one except to have the transaction details. I don't know.
Yeah. So if they have to pay at time of registration, at minimum, you want to have the payment notification email turned on and
Yes.
edit the email.
Okay.
So this has got some basic verbiage in here, but I want you to jump in here and make this a little bit more specific to your members and to your association, because to me, if I got this email, it would look very spammy to me. You know what I mean? I would be like, I'm not going to pay this.
Yeah, because they've already paid it when they checked out. I don't know that I want to do this for events, honestly.
You don't want to send them an email that lets them know you've received payment?
They already are getting one.
Okay.
I mean, it's not, if they see something that says invoice from me, they're going to be calling me saying, whoa, I already paid this. What's going on with your system?
It says invoice payment, though. Invoice payment. A payment has been made on the attached invoice.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to attach the paid invoice to act as a receipt.
Okay, I see.
But I would recommend updating this verbiage, though, because if they receive this verbiage, this looks, I would say something more like, thank you for your payment for our upcoming event. We look forward to seeing you soon, or something along those lines. Not a payment has been made on the attached invoice. That just feels a little bit cold.
Right. Okay, so basically then this outlines to them exactly what they signed up for, or does it just say we got $330?
Well, it'll have the invoice attached for that particular event, and then and it'll actually be their invoice, and it'll reflect as paid.
What does that invoice look like that will be attached?
We just looked at one. It looks like,
sorry.
You're fine. It looks like this. Whatever line items they've registered for will be here.
Oh gosh, I need that so bad for me. Yes. Yeah. Can I do that for me? Can I export all these out so I can check it against the spreadsheet? Okay, that's great. Okay, I'll do this.
So you can access all these invoices in the system. And remember how I showed you a moment ago, you could print them out. Remember how I showed you how you could print them out? And then you can also pull a transaction report, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a minute as well.
Okay, all right. So I need to create, and then how do we attach it to event? How do we attach it to the forms?
I'll show you that. There's
cool. So I need to do one
drop down.
And one for new member, and one for sponsor, and what else? Quarterly fees and dues.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to do one for that, you can do one for.
Are we just going to wait?
Nope. I want you to go ahead and take care of all of this.
Okay, dues, fees. Okay. All right. I hope I have time to do this today. Okay. Maybe it won't take me too long.
No, this won't take you too long. I'd say maybe 15 minutes if you just sat down and knocked it out.
Okay. For you. Anything that takes you 15 is going to take me 3 days. I'm sorry. I'm an old lady.
No, you're fine. I do this with my clients all the time, and everybody, it feels a little bit overwhelming, but everybody's always able to navigate in here and get them done, and it's going to save you a lot of time in the long run, because instead of people asking for their invoices, or if somebody ever asks for a receipt, they're already receiving one in this invoice template.
Well, I have had some requests, and I've just gone to Authorize Net and sent it that way. So
perfect. So this will be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because it'll be automatic.
So I just need to create the invoice template, click that button, name it, put in a due date, put in any kind of footer note, turn on notifications for it, and then what else?
And then edit the verbiage in the email.
Edit verbiage in email. I guess I missed that part.
So create invoice template. We're going to name it.
Okay.
Set our due date.
Okay.
Notes, verbiage goes here.
Footage, yeah, and the footer information. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then if we don't need any of these reminder note or letting them know that they have an open invoice. At minimum, you're going to be using the payment notification email, and then edit the email so it doesn't look spammy.
Payment, what was that? Payment notification is what I check. I mean, turn on payment notification email. Okay.
And edit the verbiage.
Okay.
And if you want to receive this as well, you can BCC yourself on this.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. Awesome. So that's going to be the first item. The second item while you're in here that I'd like for you to complete are your invoice settings.
Invoice settings. Okay.
You're going to upload the your organization logo that you'd like to show up in the top right-hand corner of your invoice.
Upload TCA logo. Okay.
And then you're going to apply your organization information that you'd like to appear in the top left-hand corner of your invoice.
Just type it in and then it will automatically filled out? Is that what happens?
Exactly.
Okay, do I put those lines and those dollar signs, I mean the pound signs in there?
So these are data merge fields because it's going to data merge this information from your member's profile into this area. You are literally just going to type in TCA, address, phone number, and if you want to put your website address. You're going to just fill that out. Just put the information in those areas. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's organization information. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Fill out okay, I was trying to see, okay. Fill out org info, okay.
All right. Awesome. So that's what you're going to put in there, and then you're just going to hit the submit button down here in the bottom right-hand corner.
Cool, okay.
All right. So invoice templates, invoice settings. So you're going to start by going to financial, invoices, and then you're going to complete the invoice templates and invoice settings.
Financial, invoices, complete, invoices, and complete settings. All right. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can do that. I hope.
Awesome. All right, then we've got your revenue accounts. So this is where all of your revenue accounts are housed.
Okay, where did you click on to get to revenue accounts?
Just that.
Okay, so while you're in financial, where were we?
So we're still under financial and invoices.
Okay, so financial, invoices, revenue accounts. Okay.
And that's just where your revenue accounts are housed. If you wanted to add a new revenue account, you're just going to select Add New Revenue Account. And then all you have to do here is add the revenue account name. And if it's for dues, you're going to turn on dues. If it's not for dues, you just leave that off, and then you'll hit Save.
Okay. Dues, save. Dues or not. Okay, so actually we're on a cash basis, but so dues
revenue. You are.
Uh-huh. So
that's something that we can update in here.
So, for example, let me just ask you a question. I noticed that all of the convention stuff is just going into convention revenue, okay? Just that one main account. I normally divide it up like, okay, this is registration, this is sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two different income accounts for for sponsor and for registration. So would I come back in and under account name, I don't know what I put there.
So under account name, you're actually going to put the name of your revenue account. That's the name of your revenue account. So for example, that would be these revenue account names.
Oh, okay. So I just go in and select one. See, there's sponsors and registration. So I need to know, okay, you put it under 8710. That's okay. We'll just leave it like that.
Well, I can show you how you can choose where you want your money to go into. That's going to be in our forms training.
Okay.
But for right now, I just want you to know how to add a new revenue account if you need to.
I don't. It's just all convention right now. Until May, it's going to be all convention.
Well, eventually, this is something that you'll need to know how to do. Right?
Yeah. I'll forget it though. Add new revenue account.
Well, and you don't have to take notes on all this because you'll have the recordings, and so if you forget, you can just go back and listen to the recordings again.
Okay.
Okay. All right, the last item that we have is your payment processors, which you've already been in here setting these up. So I know you already know how to use this area.
Right.
Awesome. And that is everything on financials. Now, you mentioned a transaction report of some type. So if I hover over financials again, we actually have a transaction report that we can pull by going to this transaction submenu.
Financial transaction report. Okay.
And so from here, this is going to have both sides of your T-chart. It's going to have your credit and your debit. So you'll have a sale and then a payment, which is why you'll see positive amounts and negative amounts.
Right.
So this is how you can pull the transaction date. So if you're doing, a monthly transaction report, you can pull for the whole month of February. We won't have anything in here. We can pull for the whole month of, let's try March. Let's see. March 1st to March 31st. There we go. So now we've got all of the different sales and payments that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to filter this also by revenue account, transaction type, transaction status, payment type, or credit card type.
Mm-hmm.
And then down at the bottom down here, you can export. So if you just want an Excel spreadsheet, just export to a CSV. If it's something that you're wanting to import into your QuickBooks, you would want to export an IIF.
Okay. I don't need the credit and the debit. So how do I just get, if I export to CSV, it's going to be.
If you only care about payments, then you can choose your transaction type by selecting just payments.
Okay.
And then filter transaction type. And then that's going to get rid of your, it's taking a second to load, but it'll get rid of the sales, and it'll only show you the payments. And then you'll be able to export to CSV, and that's how you can see everything.
Okay.
So mine's going to have everything in here right now, but this is what it'll end up looking like in here.
Okay.
So it didn't pull out. It's just moving slow. But if I wanted to pull out I could just filter my Excel spreadsheet and say, I don't care about the sales. I only care about the payments. And here they all are now.
Okay.
All the amounts, where they came from, who they came from.
Okay. All
revenue
righty.
accounts. You've got all that information right in this transaction report. So I think this is probably what you're looking for.
Yeah. And then once I download it, I can get rid of what sales I don't want.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. All right, cool. So that's kind of really everything you need to know about the financials piece. So I think that kind of got us to where we needed to be on financials. Any questions on that?
Oh, probably a bunch. I have a pretty good, I think I understand pretty much. I don't know if I have any. What's utilities up there?
You won't have that. This is just something I see.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So then today, really from this piece today, I really just want you to make sure that you are going in here, setting up the invoice templates, invoice settings, and then I want you to practice using the invoices and getting comfortable with using those. I think I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overload you with information.
How do I do, if I'm going to do this though, it needs to be convention. So I need to know how to attach those invoices to the people that have paid.
How to give them their invoices?
Know how they receive it automatically. If I'm going to be creating invoices, won't they receive it automatically, like you said?
Yes, with the invoice templates. So you got to set up these invoice templates first.
And then, but how do we connect the form and the template?
So if we go into forms and form list, forms are a little bit of a beast of their own. But if I go into this area and we went into that convention registration form, if we go back into the payment section, which I know you've used,
right,
it's down here at the very bottom, payment. If I look at these for the payment section, you'll notice on the left-hand column it's going to give me an option, invoice template.
Oh.
We just choose the invoice template, so it will be events.
A choice. Oh, once it's created, it'll give me a choice. Oh, and then we just turn it on.
It's already on. Well, you just need to set it up. You just need to go into the invoice template physically and set up the payment notification email.
All right. Cool. All right. Super, super, super duper.
That's
all right.
it.
Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. Any other questions or anything else that you really are wanting to know today?
Well, I need to find that little authorized net logo to put on the site. I don't need it on the forms, just somewhere on the site.
Oh, just somewhere on your website?
Yeah.
Do you have the image already? The authorized.net image?
Yeah, all they gave me was that little, URL. So I'm going to have to go try to find where the image is now.
Let me see if I can. I thought you were wanting it in the form. Let me see if this will work. Maybe if we put it in the footer of your website. So like maybe if we put it down here somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or
that's
where they can widgets.
I'm going to go into footer info.
Right.
And then let's just say.
And will that work?
I don't know.
I tried that and it just gave a.
No, I'm going to have the image. I have to have the image.
Okay. Okay. So if I have an image, how do I make that work?
So that's kind of a long strand of steps.
There's the image showing that the image file should be there. And that's what they were telling me yesterday. And then
The
they
thing
said,
is we can't just copy and paste an image into your website. The image itself is going to have to be saved in your media manager. We can never copy and paste images into the site.
no, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just saying that when I called them, they sent me this web developer page, you know, and I said, we just want to put the image in the site. So people, when they come, he said, yeah, just use that URL and this web developer package that I sent you. And I thought, oh, damn, another book to read.
Yeah, we just need the image. We just need the image. Why, what is the purpose of putting the image on the website?
Well, because when I go to purchase something on the website, online, I want to see that it's super secure, okay? And Authorized Net just has a very good reputation. It's not PayPal, okay? And I just want to make sure that our members see that we still are using Authorized Net for our credit card processor.
Okay, I have never seen an association do that. So that might be why Authorized.net is confused.
No, they're saying put the verified seal on your website. When I go to Charles Schwab and do my Charles Schwab thing, it's Authorized Net. I mean, it's like the rock star of processors. And I just, you know,
because it's just giving me code right now, and code isn't going to bring in an image. We actually are going to have to save. See, I have to actually have the image.
Okay.
In order for that to work.
And then can you apply the code to the image? And if so, how?
Why are we applying code to the image?
Well, because it's a clickable image that just says, this is a secure processor. That's all it says. It doesn't direct it to a form or anything. It just says you are on a secured site. You can trust the fact that your payment is secure with us. Super secure with us.
So you said you have an example. Who's the example of what you've seen do this before?
Well, we used to have it on our old site, and I uploaded it to the old site. I'll just ask him again. Where's the image? He was pretty much like, just put the URL code in there and it'll work. But
yeah, so just to reiterate, we can never just put code in for an image. We actually have to save the image itself in our media manager, because that's where all of our images are being pulled from within the site.
Aha. And then once you save that image in Media Manager, how do you apply the code to that image?
It doesn't have the code. See, that's where I'm getting a little bit confused, because it would really be like a web address. Like if they click on it, maybe it brings them to an Authorized.net web address.
It does.
You're not applying code. Yeah, so it's just an external link is all it is. So you would, just as an example, it would be as simple as you're going to bring in the image. So first you'll have to save the image in your media manager. Then use your image button at the bottom here.
Okay.
This is going to pull up what we call a mini media manager. You can choose the image that you want to bring in. You've got different folders here. You can choose different images based on what you're trying to populate. Insert your image. And then when you want to apply the external link, you're just going to click on the image.
And hit HTML.
No, ma'am.
Oh.
You're not adding HTML. You're going to the link up here.
Okay, cool.
And then you'll just put in your external link. So for example, I could link that TCA back to I'm just putting your link in here. We want it to open in a new window.
Right.
I can insert, and then I can just hit apply. So now it would basically just be the Authorized.net logo, not this giant TCA logo. They're going to click on it, and it's going to bring up the Authorized.security page. Of course, I linked it back to your home page.
Right.
So that's all we're doing.
And then eventually to the side of that, I would like to put the moolah when we get e-checks. Okay, so we go, credit card processing with authorized net and moolah for e-checks. Okay.
Yeah, we can, and I've got the moolah logo already for you that we can put on here.
Okay, great. Well, we don't know that I've been approved yet, so we don't want to do that. And then if I want to add LinkedIn and Twitter down here, I think I figured that out yesterday. It's under socials somewhere, website socials or something.
It's actually under menu items. That's the social media menu. So if we go to menu items, then I can go to social network menu. And you would just want to add a new one. So you'd select new. And then you're just going to, oh, I think that just did something weird. External link. Then you would just put in your link to go to that item, and you could name it. So I would name this like Twitter. And then if I could go to TCA Cotton Twitter.
Well, it's actually Candy's Twitter. I need to TCA. It's actually Tex Cotton Candy. Yeah, Tex Cotton Candy right there.
So I think I can grab this link, and then I'm going to just place that link in there, and then I'm just going to hit save, and that should.
Perfect.
Let's see if it did it. There it is.
Hey. Then what about LinkedIn?
Let's see. TCA Cotton linked in. Whoops. Is it this one?
No.
That's not you.
But I see Adrian.
You see my LinkedIn? Is it TCA? Is it your LinkedIn or is it TCA's LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's probably Candace. But that's okay because a lot of people that are not members, that's how they get their invitations from me. POTEET.
Oh, that's right. POTEET. Is this it?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. We're going to go new. We're going to go other, going to external link.
Okay.
LinkedIn. Pasting our link, group access, save.
Okay, perfect.
So now this has been added.
I wanted to add Insta and all that other crap, Snapchat or whatever, if we set all that up, or should we? Okay, that's the other thing I need to know. Should we?
Instagram definitely works, but I don't think that there's a Snapchat link.
Okay, that's okay. I don't have an Insta really. I mean, I do, but I haven't used it. My child thinks I'm crazy. But then he'll tell you that that's out of date. I need to be doing Snapchat. So I don't know. I think this for business is probably adequate. And then we'll have our community as well. The next thing that needs to happen really big time bad, okay, and I know that you're running out of time with me, but I will need to set up the committees so I can so they can converse with each other. They can share the document, the working report with each other. At least within the next week, I need to get that out so they can get primed and ready to do that.
So I'm going to send you a article on how to set that up, and I want you to go ahead and do that. It's really easy, and I usually just send my clients the article on how to set this up. So I'll send this to you in my follow-up email. So from this training today, I'm going to send you the recording, and I want you to complete the invoice templates, the invoice settings, and I also want you to complete setting up the committees. Okay, so let's go ahead and schedule our next training. When is good for you next week?
I'm fine, just whenever with you. The sooner the better, because I'm fixing to start getting so slammed. I mean, I'm already slammed, but you know, the closer I get out to the convention, it's pandemonium. And the committees are the reason that we have a convention. Nobody knows that because nobody wants to talk policy. They want to talk how much alcohol they can drink. Okay. Yeah. So, but I do need to get a thing out to the committees and you know, probably do another email from here saying, you know, you're on this committee, you've been appointed to serve, the serve one, and then here's your report. You can converse among members here or whatever, you know.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll send you this committee's article so you can go ahead and get the committees together. And then you've been using that contact center. So jump in there and make the new emails that you want to send out and all that kind of good stuff. You've been working in there, so I know you can do it.
Okay. And then how would I connect to that committee to send it out? To just select that specific committee?
I don't think that there's a link that you can add for committees. Let me see, site links. Because that's really going to be popping up in their social community. Let's see if we've got anything. Going to be a specific place where they can access the committees that we can link directly to, but you can link to the My Profile and say log into your profile to review your committees. I'm going to do this as well because the social community is really the last thing that we review. So I'm going to send you, I've got a recording of a social community training that you can watch that'll kind of help walk you through where committees are located, how your members can access them. You can go ahead and get them put together, and that way you can go ahead and start working on that if you want to.
Okay.
So I'll get all that sent over to you.
It may just have to be a community. It may just have to be a constant contact, something for the convention this year, because I'm running out of time to build anything or listen to anything.
Yeah.
And sleep and eat and bathe.
Do what?
I said, and sleep and eat and bathe. You know,
I know it. I feel you. I definitely understand.
I know.
So let's go to on Thursday the 29th. Could you do 1 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock your time?
12 noon. That's the earliest.
Yeah, it is. I could do early mornings, but I know you don't like early mornings.
Okay. And then if I just have a desperate question in the meantime, I can email you, right?
Yeah, just email me. But you've got a lot that needs to be completed before we can talk again anyway. So I think you know, you're going to have a lot that you need to do before we jump on the phone again. So it's going to be crucial that you complete those before we're on another call. So let's do 1 o'clock my time, 12 o'clock your time.
Okay, on the 29th.
Yes. And we will start reviewing content and some forms on that one. And then I'll send you a follow-up email for you to get those little items completed. And if you have any other questions, you just let me know, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye.